My future sister-in-law turned my life into a nightmare after she attacked me on social media. Now, she won't stop wailing and apologizing to me because my boyfriend went nuclear on her. My sister-in-law thinks I am obnoxious. She's my boyfriend's eldest sibling and she's very protective of her baby. She's also very religious, so her baby dating a pantsuit wearing, neon-colored hair having, bisexual atheist feminist with 2 moms was a lot for her to take in. Over the 3 years my boyfriend and I have been together, she has only been more vocal about it. It did first start with small snarky comments, but now it's full in-your-face criticism. It got worse when he moved in with me as we weren't married. Well, one of her longest running jabs is that I look scary but I'm just mild and boring whilst I try to cosplay as edgy unless I have any skeletons in my closet. I am a happy person and have little issues with laughing at myself, so I always just laugh it off when she says she will find my skeletons in my closet. It was my birthday recently, so we had everyone over, and when my boyfriend went out for decorations he returned with a plastic skeleton and held it up and said, "You thinking what I'm thinking?" And F me, I was. This cheeky asshole was giving me an offer I couldn't refuse and I laughed and said, "You son of Sith, I'm effing," and so we set the trap. Well, surely enough, sister-in-law was busy telling anyone who would listen that we're unmarried, sleeping in the same bed, I smoke weed, the usual, and I ignored her, and then she went on about me cosplaying as edgy and not being an authentic person, and someday she will find my skeletons in my closet. My boyfriend started to laugh and I said, "Oh, you didn't notice?" and walked her to our coat closet near the front door and opened it. There was Skeletor the skeleton propped up against the corner. We had a good laugh and my brother-in-law said, "Effing hell, you finally found it," and when I turned to her, it went from a good-natured laugh to a nightmare. She was red in the face, silent, and crying. She slapped me and left without a word. I was stunned by the slap and not even prepared to deal with stepmother-in-law, who asked me if I was happily mocking the woman who raised my boyfriend and that I'm such a disrespectful butt, but this was a new low. She and a few others started telling me how crappy I was for embarrassing sister-in-law and mocking her in front of everyone. The party naturally died from the party's foul wounds and was DOA, so most everyone left within the hour. Boyfriend has been trying to cheer me up and took me to see Deadpool and got me takeaway so we can binge watch our show and veg out, but sister-in-law texted me a paragraph about how she's tried with me, but I am determined to be a morally corrupt violation of her family and she is devastated that I hate her enough to make a mockery of her. I replied with an apology that I hurt her, and I genuinely thought it was just a laugh we could share, and offered to take her to lunch to talk it out. She said she was disinterested in dealing with me further, and when my boyfriend wised up and left me, she would celebrate. There are texts from others and group chats where I am being torn apart as vicious and malicious and my mind is boggled. Update: Facebook is such a pain. Sister-in-law took to social media, made a post and tagged me. It was a novel long, but the short of it is that I am a hateful woman who doesn't respect parental figures, and it must be because I am an orphan. According to the post, I am on substances and lured her baby onto them too. I've turned him against God and his family. My man damn near blew the lid off our home when he saw it, as he is on FB more than me. He called her and demanded she take it down, but the damage was pretty much done. Family out of the woodwork are sending me rehab center links, church counseling links, and intimacy addiction help, and my personal favorite is before me and after me photo comparisons, where before me is a photo of him in church with his family at a Mother's Day service and after is a snap of him at a concert with his tattoos showing, drinking and clearly drunk. Some people even came to the house to stage an intervention. My guy only started to shout and make them leave our home when I was referred to as a classless hussy and shameless slut. Let me be transparent. We use THC and weed, but it's legal here and we have jobs and maintain a good life. The after me photo is not actually from when we were dating, it was beforehand. And I am not an orphan. So I talked with him about limiting contact and he got upset. He loves his family and despite this freak show, he loves his sister. He got stressed out and started to have a panic attack. I helped him recently, got him water, and held him until he was calm again, and he asked we give it a bit of time to die down and he will try to talk sense into sister-in-law. So we're giving it effing time. I'm not mad at him. I know this is hard for him, but this is crap and I am being bombarded with texts and even emails telling me I am some demon woman who is shooting up my soul, who hates Christians, and none of that is even true. It's just a lot and I hate every moment. Second update. My boyfriend Dean sat me down a few days after my last post. He was very, very calm, and that was my first sign that I needed to gird my loins because I was in for a doozy. For background, generally, I am the calm, logical lead one while he is passionate and deep feeling. In this, we became polar opposites of that norm. He looked me right in the eye and asked me point blank, no bullshit, how this was all affecting me. Every time he would ask before, I just couldn't bring myself to tell him how upsetting it all was, since I was the put together one all the time, but this time, because he was so calm and direct, I just broke down. Nightmare isn't the word. It was hell. We live around what is known as a small city, meaning it's big, sure, but once you get in certain circles you find that everyone knows you and you know most everyone, or at least someone who knows them. So, in a way, it can be like a small town. Our state is generally religious outside our city, so rumors spread. With my sister-in-laws, I will call her Ren going forward, social media attacks on me. It was the scuttlebutt everyone craved. Some people sided with her. Not most, but enough. I was getting dirty looks and rude treatment. My hairstylist is their cousin and she told me she couldn't work on my hair anymore until this was resolved, as she was getting pressure from the family. It was schoolyard and immature, but it was enough to make me feel bad. I got done saying all this to Dean, and he said, "Okay then, we will block them." So matter of fact, I knew it was a hard thing to decide on for him, as he loves the poop out of his family and they are his world, so I pushed back at the idea, saying as much and that I could never stand in the way of him and his whole family. I started to cry harder, and he had to sit me down and get me some wine and water and blanket burrito ed me, and hug me until I could talk again. I said I couldn't live with myself knowing I made him choose me over his family, and he said I hadn't made him. They did. We then started talking logistics because he wasn't budging. I was sad the whole time because I am usually tough and don't give a poop attitude, but he is so close to them and I am not overly close with most of my own family. I hated taking something so rare and beautiful away from him, my fault or not. We cut them off, blocked almost everyone after sending a text about what was happening and why. And worse, it was Ren's birthday party the next day. I took my guy to a festival happening in the city so he wouldn't have to think about it, and we were out until 2 or 3 the next morning.